Hi guys, welcome back to the shop. Today we're going to get back on the TS-250 and see if we can figure out what in the world is going on with our no start condition. So let me get you overhead here on the bench and we'll go through kind of what I've already done. All right. What I've done is I've gone through just like I did on the CDI on the 125 MX, and I had kind of reworked this, but if you remember right, this is over a year ago that I did this, and that was before I had gone through the CDI on the 125 and figured out that I could unpot these and put new wires in and all that. So that's what I did. And you know, I'd gone through and kind of, well, I guess we'll just have to say half-assed it as far as the rewiring, because I just didn't rewire. I didn't want to take all this stuff loose. So I think all I did was I put the new wires on the bottom here, going to the charge and the lighting coils, and that's all I did. And just left these on this, on the pulsar and the exciter coil. So this time I took it all apart. I reused the rubber connector here, but I used all new wires. My colors are off a little bit here, but they're still, you know, this one here is supposed to be black with a white stripe, and this one is supposed to be red with a white stripe, and they're just kind of backwards. So it's, you know, I think anybody looking at it would get the gist. But anyhow, that's what I've done is I've gone back in, cleaned everything, removed all of the potting, put new wires in, repotted everything, and now we have brand new wires all the way, new sheathing. Everything's been gone through, and just like I did on the 125, where I found out that, you know, I didn't see a lot of corrosion here, but you know, the wiring was just old, and and these coils I'm sure are old too. You know, they're 50 years old. But you know, the point is, sometimes these things just need to be, you know, everything taken apart. So if there is corrosion, and what I did was I took a razor blade and scraped each place where these screws go through to make sure that I had good ground. And just seeing something here. I don't know if that's a wire I see or what. Yeah, I do see one there. I'm going to put a little stuff on that one. But anyhow, the point is, I didn't really do it correct the first time. So we'll just put a little insulation goo on that one. I think that's the only one I'm seeing. I didn't see that before. Anyhow, we're going to go with this. We've got, I'm not seeing any real difference in readings. Let's see, we had this one, and I think you can see it is still, I think we had 233 the last time. This one, we're right at 234, 235. And on this one we had 195 or 7, something like that. And we still do. So really, I'm not seeing any change in anything that we've done as far as continuity goes. So I don't know. I can get these coils here. These are pretty, Suzuki used these on a lot of bikes. All the TS models, the 185 up to the 400 are the same. And on the DS models and the RL, and there may be another one in there that I'm not thinking of right now, but I think Suzuki used pretty much the same stator on the DS, the RL, the TS, and TC's probably, well, I don't know. The 185, 185 up to 400, I think these are pretty much all the same. So there's a lot of them out there, but they are $100 or more, depending on where you get them from, used. And of course, you don't know until you get them whether or not they're any better than the ones you got. So this is where I'm starting, and we're going to put it back on there, and I'm going to do some other checks, and we'll try it again. How many times did we try the 125? I don't even know. All right, let's see if we can get this back on. And again, our timing marks. Let's get this up here, get it in, there we go. Actually, after I got this off, I could see another mark. But it doesn't make any difference. I'll show you here though. Right here's the one I showed you before, and I believe I did this when I took it off because I didn't see a mark. And if you look up here, here's your mark. You've got two lines there, and it intersects with this kind of raised area right there. So that's your mark, and what I put over here is the same. So there's no real change there. So we'll just make sure we've got those lined back up. I usually do mark things like that, but that was the only one I saw until I took this off again. And I said, well, there's one right there. Oops. So we'll just go ahead and snug them down. That should be certainly good enough to start it. Let me run this back here behind. Let me see if I can get this stuck up out of my way here. I think I'm going to have to get my hemostat and pull that up. That's kind of a not too easy way to get all that up in there, but we got it. We've got our neutral wire here we got to contend with. wire just kind of pokes in there. Seems like that works pretty good. And let me get my keyway up. Charging that battery up, and I have got it, it's kind of over here in my way to pull the Kickstarter down. Just reach over there and pull it to kind of move it around. And we'll see if we can get it in there. This thing's really a super magnet on this thing. Yeah, you've got to get it just right, or you just can't overcome the magnetism. Ah, boy, I don't remember where it needs to be. I'll just keep trying. Boy. Yeah, let me fight this on my own. All right, it was a booger, but I got it. Just really super strong magnets on that thing. More so than you really think. Move you over here. And Dean, here's my spanner, just like yours. This is a Williams 484. I think it actually came in a set of 3, so there's 3 different sizes. And they're really short, so you don't end up damaging your coils or anything in there. And another thing on these, when you're pulling, when you put your bolts in here, make sure those don't go very far in. Just just look how thick it is, because it does go all the way through. And if you run those in too far and then turn your flywheel, you're just going to tear the crap out of your coils in there. So be careful. These are not blind holes. They go all the way through. Okay, we're tight. I don't hear anything rubbing. And we've got our neutral light in there. As you realize here, I've got the oil cover still off. I can actually get that back on with this just by pulling this plate off. But just in case I need to get in there to bleed something or whatever, I'm going to leave that cover off for right now. Get these hooked back up. And I'd like to thank everybody that sent me some, I put that one in the wrong place. Malcolm over in England, he sent me a wiring diagram and the, well, he sent me a whole manual. And man, it's very helpful. It was a lot more in depth than what I had. And I was just speaking of Dean. If you haven't been over to check his channel out at Retro Mechanica, he's working on the 2-cycle BSA Bantams. He does some machine work and motorcycle repair, just pretty much kind of the same stuff I do, just on different stuff. And I had, I think Jim and maybe, I think Malcolm told me this too, that he had a brown wire with a white tracer and a green wire that was not connected to anything. And I think, I'm not sure on the brown wire, but I think Malcolm, I think he was the one that told me that this, you can hook the green wire up for more or less charging. I have seen that somewhere, but I can't remember where. But anyhow, I don't feel so bad now that I have those 2 wires I can't find a home for, because there are others out there too. All right, hopefully I've got that. I'll have to clean all this up and bundle it and everything, but right now I just want it out of my way until I've got everything fixed. All right, back over here at the bench, and another thing I want to check is the coil. And I've actually changed out the cap. I went to a non-resistor. This is the one that was on it from Suzuki, and well, I'll show you here in a minute. But to check our secondary here, we're going from the ground and we're at about 1040, 1050, okay? And when I checked this before, I was over about 20, and it's telling me that I need to be at 12, and that's where we're at, and that's K ohms, of course. And then on the primary side, I'm supposed to be at 0.7 ohm, and we're right there. So we're good, but when I checked this with the original resistor cap on it, I had over 20. And if you, let's see here, I don't want to put it back on there, but yeah, if I can get that piece off there. So there's almost 10 K ohms right there. So if you're checking a coil, you always want to check it with the resistor cap off. And then if you got any issues later on, then it's going to be, this is going to be your problem. But I'm not going to put the resistor one back on. I don't care if when I ride the bike by somebody's house, it messes up their TV or whatever. But anyhow, I wanted to check the coil and make sure we're good there. And all I did was I've got some NGK ends, and these are the non-resistor ends. I picked those up when I was dealing with the 125MX problem that I had. And I'll just stick this one aside for now. So let's go back over to the bike. So what I've done over here is I went ahead and scraped the paint off to make sure I've got a good ground here before I put the screws back in. That wire kind of goes over there. I was mentioning Dean a while ago in Retromechanica. I also like to give a shout out to Jack over at Old Guys and Old Bikes. He's a good follower of my channel, and so is Dean. And I've got some more here. Hang on. I just wanted to get my tank back on. And yeah, I just kind of like to mention every once in a while all the people that support my channel, other YouTubers, and I sure appreciate that. And I like to give a shout out to theirs. You know, we're all kind of in this together, and oops, I may have put that up prematurely. Let me get that wire hooked up. Okay, I forgot to hook my coil wire up there. That wasn't going to work that way. Anyhow, I kind of like to give a shout out to those guys that support my channel, and I watch theirs. It just, nobody's a loser on YouTube. It's just, you know, the more the merrier. Nobody does everything the same. So, of course, all of you know Kevin Bergeron. He's the one that helped me get going, and he's been a big help to me. And Carl Wilson, he's actually Dean's brother, and his channel is Carl Wilson, and he does a lot of machine work over there. And of course, CK Cycles, Chris is his name over there. He's doing the 4-stroke, what are they called? The TT 500 or something like that. It's a 500 4-stroke. So, you know, those guys, and I'm sure I've missed some, but those are ones I communicate with on a regular basis, and they always watch my stuff and I watch theirs. So I thank you, and everybody needs to go over there and take a look at them. I did have somebody ask me if I put my fuel filter on wrong, and I thought, well, I don't know. I thought I'd looked, and I'm not sure you're going to be able to see it, but there's an arrow right here, and it's pointing this way. So that's the correct direction for that filter. Some of them are probably different, I don't know, but this one here is showing the flow that way, so it is right. And I've been getting fuel. That's not my problem. It's just doesn't want to start. So we're back to kind of where we were. So I want to see what we can do now. So I'm going to put you on a tripod, and we're going to give it another go. All right. Let's see what we do. Key on, fuel on. Got a fire. Let me check that plug. It's probably still drowned it from the last time. Yeah, pretty wet. Let me clean this up. All right, let's get that cleaned up. Let's give it another shot. Got more out of it then than we've ever. I'm not sure I'm getting fuel flow. There, that looks like it's doing something. Let's try it again. Sounds like we got a live one. I'm not sure what the problem was. Got our oil line still full. Smoky. I'm going to pop the door open. It's not too bad today, about 30 degrees. I had to work on the tachometer. It was going all the way over, and what it was the where the cable screws on, this was all loose under there, and I had to go pull the top off and go in there and re-brad that down to the base plate, and that seems to be working. Sounds good. See, brake light. Yep. Well, let's see if we got a headlight. Well, there it is. Both beams. And tail light. Yep. Tail light too. Like our oil lines are staying full. A little throatier than the 125s. I didn't check to see if the high beam indicator, yep, she works. All right. I don't know what we did. Well, she runs. It had to do something with the wiring or the coil or something. Because that's all I did. Rewired the stator and scraped the paint off of the frame, remounted the coil, and I replaced the cap. A lot of the same things that I did with the 125 Yamaha MX, and it just goes to show that, you know, all that old wiring needs attention, and if you paint something, make sure you've got a ground. So I'm not sure which one was the issue, but we've got the issue fixed, whatever it was. And the high reading on the pulsar coil, well, it doesn't seem to matter at this point anyway. Maybe that'll change when we start riding it. Okay, one thing I wanted to check here is our charging. Got an idle, well, a little over idle. I think that's good. I think we can live with that. Okay guys, there you have it. She's alive. Like I say, I'm not real sure what the exact issue was. I didn't see anything anywhere. The only thing that I saw that could have been a problem was the paint on the where the coil mounts. Maybe that didn't have a good ground. I was just getting a little bit of it, but I'd learned a lot since I had done the rewiring of the stator on the 125 MX, and I also did one for the 250 that I'm coming up with. I always just thought that that potting and everything, that was just, man, you leave that alone. But it's not a big deal. You get in there with your soldering iron and melt it away, chip it away, and get in there to your wire, change your wire out, and you're done. It does take a little time, but it's not a huge deal. Anyhow, if you would, I'll try to leave a link in the description block for Dean and Kevin, Carl, Chris, and Jack. Go check their channels out. They do good work, each and every one of them. And I'm proud to call them all a friend. And here we go. At least we're not going backwards. We're going forward now. So thanks for going along on the ride, and we'll see you next video.